All right. Number 7. Tried to prevent you from leaving after a fight. Leave you somewhere to teach you a lesson. I have 4 incidents of that. Apex. Okay? The incident that got Darren homeless the first time when I was pregnant with Jada, and Darren lied and told the family that he dropped me off at my mom's neighborhood. Bullshit. I have 2 incidents of that happening. But the first one actually is documented. Okay, so I'm hoping that can support the fact that he did it again, because if he did it once, he'll do it again. Apex. I blew the engine in my car. Okay, Darren comes to pick me up. He's my own transportation to school. I got final exams. Okay, he comes to pick me up. We get to Apex. He pulls over. There's a parking lot, but it's made out of like little gravel, like pebbles or whatever. Pulls over. I'll never forget it. Are you gonna keep the baby? Yes. You got an ultimatum. If you choose to keep the baby, you get out of the fucking car now, and you find your own way to school or home. Okay? But if you choose to abort the baby, I'll take you to class, and everything will be good. I chose my baby. Because I chose to keep my baby and I stood my ground that day, he gets out the car because I was determined. I said, I'm not getting out of this damn car. You're going to take me to school. I had heels on and I was pregnant with Jada. Okay? He gets out the car, opens the door, and forces me out like I was fighting. Because I'm like, you can't fucking leave me here. It was the first incident. He left me there. I'm thinking, okay, he's bullshitting. He's just going to bluff and come back in like 5 minutes and get me. 40 fucking minutes went by. I mean, I was in denial. The reason why I waited so long is because I was in denial. Because I was just like, nah, he wouldn't do that to me. And when 40 minutes finally came back, I hit reality and I was like, this motherfucker left me. So I ended up calling the Apex Police Department and they sent an officer out. And I, because of shame, I didn't want to tell my mom because unlike Darren's family, my family got to see firsthand a lot of the bad shit that Darren's, did to me during my pregnancy. Things that the family don't even know about. So I felt the shame because my mom had already warned me not to mess with Darren. And I went and did it anyways. And as a result, I'm now stranded in Apex. So I was ashamed to contact her. So I contacted the police. And I told them, I said, look, I said, I don't want y'all taking me home. I said, I got an exam in about an hour. If you just send me to school, because I can't miss this exam. If I miss it, my financial aid will get terminated. Long story short, he takes Darren's information and he hands me his card. And she had to get in contact with Raleigh Police Department because Wake Tech's in Raleigh. I was in Apex. Apex Police Department cannot go into Raleigh jurisdiction. They can't do it. But he ended up getting permission from the chiefs to allow him to cross over into that territory to say, okay, you got the okay to leave Apex and go into Raleigh to drop her off. On the ride there, he was like, if he ever fucking does this to you again, you better call me and I will fucking personally come after his ass. I'll never forget that. He drops me off in front of the main campus. I go to my theater class. I walk in, the exam already started. My teacher said, you cannot take your exam, you're too late. It's already started. So I failed and I lost my financial aid. Okay? That's a whole other story. Then it happened again. Darren had a habit of disappearing a lot during my pregnancy, and at the time I did not know it was because he had moved on to another girlfriend. He was stringing me along, making me believe that we had hope as being, more than friends and getting this family together, and a bunch of bullshit, okay? So after not having any contact with Darren, him ignoring my messages for a few days, he hits me up at like almost midnight talking about, can we go see a movie? So, of course, me, wanting him and missing him and carrying his child, I'm like, yeah, okay. Get dressed. Go. I sneak out because I didn't want my parents to know. Man, not even 10 minutes after we left the fucking house, he pulls over on the highway in the middle of the fucking night and tells me, are you keeping the baby still? And I said, yes, I am. Get out my car. I'm like, dude, you literally just picked me up from my parents' house. And now you're telling me I have to get out your car after you just picked me up? Same thing that happened at Apex. He pulls me out the fucking car, kicking and screaming, and left me there. So I waited. I ended up walking to the nearest Kangaroo. I ended up calling my mom, and I kept calling him for like 40 minutes, and nobody was answering the phone. So I ended up calling Miss Moore, and Miss Moore ended up coming out and getting me. And as a result of that, he ended up getting kicked out. Now, he's telling everyone that that never happened, but I do have a police report from Apex to support that Darren did have a history of dropping me off. And I'm learning that abusers often will punish their victims to teach them a lesson, which is what he did. Then at the Durham Hotel, okay, it says that they would try to prevent their victims from leaving. At the Durham Hotel, his whole charge was on kidnapping. That was one of his charges, kidnapping. In Durham County, if you prevent someone from leaving and force someone from being able to leave, that is considered kidnapping. That was one of his charges, which you guys can look up yourself. Okay? CPS worker. My mom had actually had a CPS worker actually investigate sexual abuse over a year ago when we were in that hotel in Durham, actually. She had, I actually have her email, and she was trying to tell me that she believed Jade was being abused. And I fussed my mama out, and I defended Darren, and I defended myself. So, my mom felt like she had to get CPS involved. The CPS worker has in her documents where I had told her how, because she was talking about how we handle our disagreements, and I told her, I said, anytime I get upset, I try to leave the room to calm down, and Darren always blocks my entry. He always says I shouldn't leave. He always calls me immature. He always says adults don't walk out and have timeouts. He said, that's so immature of you to walk out the room. And so what would happen is I stay in the room, and we argue even more because he's pushing me, just running his mouth instead of letting me leave like I asked. I have a CPS worker who I told that to, and right in front of him. And he was like, well, I don't feel like it's appropriate for her to be walking out. Like, if we have a problem, we should be able to talk about it right then and there. And I remember this black woman, she was light-skinned, and she said, no. She was like, why would you prevent her from leaving the room to go calm down? You're only making the situation worse. She said, you got to learn how to diffuse the situation, Darren. When she's upset and you see she's upset, you know what buttons to push with her. You know exactly what buttons to push with her. And you continually push it, and then you don't allow her to leave, to escape, to calm down. She was like, next time she wants to leave the room to calm down, let her leave the room and calm down. I'm learning that that's a trait of an abuser. They don't allow their victims to leave during and after a fight. That's documented in Durham. Number 8, because of their terrible treatment towards you, they make you feel as if your decision to leave them, that it's your decision to leave them. They try to put it on you like you left me because that's your decision instead of you left me because of how bad I treated you. This is a text message he sent me. You thought it'd be fun and free? You thought it'd be fun and free. That was your decision to leave. Because I was, telling him how, he hasn't helped me since since he's left. And I was like, you haven't helped me at all to take care of these kids. And he was basically saying, well, it was your decision to leave me because you thought you'd be fun and be free and happy. That was your decision. It's your fault. Number 9, constantly bad-mouthing their victim to family and friends and making a big scene. Now, there's 2 big scenes. Now, I know Darren, I don't know what all bad stuff Darren said about me because he's very secretive and very sneaky. But I'm sure everybody can come together and have some stories of some things that Darren said behind my back to me that I'll never know. But there are 2 big scenes. It says that abusive men, they like drama, they like to create tension, and they like to push people. There's 2 scenes that the family can vouch for. The Christmas incident. When the Fergusons came into town for Christmas, after Jada's birthday, they had sent Jada something in the mail for her birthday, and they came into town for Christmas, and Darren sent me an email saying that I shouldn't go to the house to talk about my pregnancy with Roman. He didn't want me to go to the house and talk about it. He didn't want them to see me pregnant. And I said, no, Darren, I'm going to go see your Aunt Colette and Chris because they sent me a gift card and they bought Jada something for her birthday. I said, they know that I know that they're coming. If I stay here at the library, that's rude. That's disrespectful. So I left the library, went to the house. 20 minutes after being in the house talking to them, we're all having a good time. My mom comes down with a fucking phone pissed off. Darren texts her something that had nothing to do with the pregnancy, something that had nothing to do with what was going on at the time. Something about something that I confided in him about when I was younger. And something that he already knew once I had confronted my mom about it, how upset she was. He pushed that button with her, caused a distraction, got us to get our focus off of what really was supposed to be going on. And I'm learning that abusers, they do that. They either change the subject to avoid things that they don't want to talk about, or they cause distractions. They cause things to happen to get people distracted. And the family witnessed that night. And I even went to the computer at my mom's house, and when I logged in, I saw he had sent me more messages since I had left the library. And I said, y'all, look at this. I said, he sent me messages saying that if I went to the house, there's going to be a problem. And then as more time kept going on, he kept sending more messages. Oh, you left the house? Okay, I got you. I got you. Your mom want to fucking run her mouth about our business to my family? Okay, I'm going to show her ass. Those were in those emails. He did that out of spite. Another big scene that he caused in front of his parents' house. It was around July of last year when I was pregnant with Layla. And it was right after Darren had gotten out of jail. And Darren had convinced me to fire my babysitter. He said, I can help you save $50 a day. I had a house, a car, and a babysitter who I was using for months. Okay? I had my shit together. Okay, he comes along and is like, well, you know, I can save you some money and we should get married, and just sweet talking me. And I ended up telling my sitter, I'm good. Their father's going to watch them. And as soon as I did that, he brought up my last relationship. So when I was getting ready to go to work one day to pick him up from his parents' house so he could watch the kids, do you still love Joe? You betrayed your family. How could you betray your family? He brought that up right when it was time, right when I was driving on the way to pick him up so he could watch my kids so I can go to work. He knew we were homeless. He did that. I was so upset because I'm like, dude, I had a fucking sitter. You've been out of jail. I've been hanging out with you for weeks. Not one time have you mentioned this. Time as I need you, he pulled that stunt on me. I'm pissed. I'm like, dude, I gotta go to work. I cannot lose my job. I got bills to pay to take care of these kids. I just got a house. I cannot afford to miss work. I got bills due. So I'm like, I'm still coming to your parents' house. And I said, somebody gonna take these goddamn kids. I'm gonna talk to your damn parents. I said, I don't give a damn if Reggie and Miss Moon call the goddamn police. Somebody taking these damn kids. Because you know I ain't got no help. I ain't got nobody. My mom was actually out of town that weekend. So I get there. Mr. Moore looking at me like I'm some bad out of here. I was angry. I got the car seats out the car. I threw it on his ground. I was pissed. But see, it's like coming into the situation, I'm looking like a crazy bitch to Mr. Moore. And Darren's sitting up there looking like all innocent, like he don't know what's going on. Like, oh yeah, Reggie, look, you know, this is what I got to deal with. And Mr. Moore sitting up there saying, you overreacting. Stop being a drama queen. You overreact all the time. Well, Mr. Moore, let me tell you something. You didn't know the whole story about that, okay? I had bills due. And that man did that shit to me. Okay? I had no help. What was I going to do? This man told me he was going to watch my kids. Waited until I was on my way to say, I'm not going to watch them. You better not bring them over here because of Joe. He put me in an impossible-like situation. So by the time I got to your house, Mr. Moore, I'm livid. Because he does that to me all the time. And I snapped. He always puts me in situations where I need him. Where it's like I need him. and then he doesn't come through. Number 10. Make tension and drama. Stir up the pot by pushing people, acting passive aggressive, inflicting conflict, and then acting innocent and blaming others. Okay. When I was in the Moore's house, okay, after Darren had got me kicked out of my mom's house for what he texted her, which was very rude and disrespectful. You don't text somebody's parent something so sensitive like that, okay? To get back at the parent, okay? When I was staying in the Moore's house, could you imagine me being with strangers? I have never been with these people. Never spent more than a few hours with these people. And now I'm in their home. Because their son got me kicked out. And then I have him on the 3rd floor coming to me, telling me, Sarah saying this about you to my mama. Reggie said they came to me and said this about you. My mama said this about you. He's telling me all the bad things these people are saying about me. And I'm living in their home. And I have nowhere else to go. Do you know what that does to a person? So I'm walking downstairs. I'm looking at these people like they fake. I got the animosity. I got the stink face on because I'm like, that's not fair for y'all to judge me when y'all don't even know the half of the shit that your son does to me upstairs. Half the shit I'm going through. And now look what he put me in. And now y'all talking about me? Smiling in my face, but then talking about me? Miss Moore, you can account or at least vouch that there's truth to Darren coming to me in the household telling me that y'all was talking about me. Because I confronted you one day, remember? I came to you and I said, Miss Moore, I said, Darren came to me and said, y'all been talking about me. He said, you said that you felt uncomfortable in your house. That was Darren. And even though it may have been true that she said that about me, that's his mama. And he came up to me and made sure that I heard that. Like, he made sure that I got that message. He was going back and forth, probably talking about me badly to them, and then coming to me and saying all this stuff about them to me. And then saying all this stuff that they're saying about me. You know what I mean? Playing everybody against each other. A lot of attention. Lots of tension in the household. And then, stirring the pot, that Christmas incident with the text message from my mom. Another thing it says, it's easier to control you when the victim has tension between family and soon have no one but the abuser to turn to. And that is exactly the situation that I have been in with Darren all this time. What Darren would do is, and even my parents, if you guys talk to my parents, and my family sees exactly what was going on, and I see it now. He would go behind my back. I would not find out until months later that Darren had messaged my mom. He would always choose to go to my mom, and he would say things about me. And then one day, me and my mom would be talking, and she'll slip up and mention some letter Darren sent her that I never heard anything about. I'm like, this dude was just smiling in my face. What do you mean he said this about me? She showed me the emails. What he would do is he would say stuff to my mother to get my mother to look at me badly. So that by the time me and my mom come face to face, now my mama and I are arguing because whatever he done told her that I didn't even know he told her, that was a lie or maybe twisted. Now me and her are arguing. I say hurtful things, she say hurtful things. So now we're further apart. That pushes her to the family, and that pushes me further to him because they're all the family I got. So if I'm arguing with them, who else do I have? It's him. Because he's the only one I'm living with and the only one helping me take care of the kids. It says abusers do that. They create tension with other family members to the point where soon the victim has nobody else to turn to. Number 12. Sweet fake attempts and gifts. Now, what the family doesn't know is in December, like I'm talking like a week or two before Jada said what she said about him. What the family doesn't know is I have text messages where Darren sent me engagement rings. He sent me my birthstone, and it was like $3,000 ring. I have those text messages. He was proposing to me, why don't we get married? I love you. He, after saying all this terrible stuff about my job and why I have to do it because he's not helping me, he sends me, oh, we can get married. He was like, this is supposed to be 2016 was the year that I planned on getting married to you. Darren played on the fact that I loved him and the fact that I've always wanted to marry him, and he's always used that against me. But this particular time, after he left to go back to his mom's house this last time, I didn't love him anymore. The damage was already done. What he did to me this time was so bad. I had enough. I had enough of getting my ass kicked by this dude. Mentally, emotionally, and physically. So when he started saying these sweet things to me, I want to marry you, I got an engagement ring, man, this is what I wanted to do for our wedding. I wanted to take you around the world for 7 days, and we travel, and we go here, and we go to, I propose to you in New York in front of Times Square. I have those messages, Darren. And I also have the message, like my response to those messages are still there. Where I said, Darren, I'm not following for it this time. I said, Darren, you're full of bullshit. I said, you don't love me. Those messages are still there, but I'm sure you didn't tell your family that prior to all of this happening, you was actually trying to get back into my life and marry me. And I clearly say, Darren, I do not want you. I'm done with you this time. Leave me alone. That's over a course of weeks. Okay. 13. Blames you for everything. So I'm going to take excerpts from his messages. So I told Darren, I said, you seem more concerned about yourself than Jada. This is when I first confronted him. He says, because you were rude. He's talking about my initial response to the fact that I had called this man 4 or 5 times, messaged him about the situation, and he waited 4 hours to respond to me. So, of course, 4 hours going by, I know that Darren keeps his phone glued to his hip. Miss Moore, Mr. Moore, Nelson, Sarah, if y'all have seen Darren, everybody knows Darren keeps that phone by his. There ain't no way in hell he gonna go 4 hours and not fucking pick up his phone and answer the damn phone. No way in hell. No fucking way in hell. So when that kept happening, I kept getting madder and madder because I knew he had read it and I knew he was ignoring my calls and messages. So I was getting angry. He flipped his response. His weird ass response, which I'll get to later. The first message he sent me told me everything I needed to know. It let me know that man fucking molested my goddamn child. And I'm going to let you guys see, hear that for yourselves, okay? But he blamed my reaction and my anger about what my child said he did and how him insulting me. He said, because you were rude. Another one. I said, you have yet to return any of my calls and you're insulting me. He says, because you're being nasty can't affect me. You threatened me. That wasn't mature. Another message. You decided you wanted a life and to be more fun and free. That's your fault. You made these decisions. Another one. I was a stay-at-home dad and committed to that until my bond was paid. You never paid it. Another one. I've been trying to keep you from that life. You betrayed yourself, because I was telling him how God opened my eyes. And, when Jada brought that information to me, I was in denial for hours, like the whole rest of the day. It was like I was angry at Darren, but my mind kept saying maybe it's a mistake. So I would shut off that possibility that he was lying to me. And at 5 o'clock in the morning on Monday, because this happened on a Sunday, it was like a movie being played. And every nasty, disgusting, everything makes sense. And I remember falling to my knees and I cried like a baby together. So that's what I was telling Darren. I said, God showed me everything that you did. I said, Darren, I'm not even a religious person anymore. I said, but I see why the enemy has been going after my faith so hard and making sure that I stay out of church. keep me blind. I said, but the day God got to me, and I saw. So that was his response. He said, no, I've been trying to keep you from that life. You betrayed yourself. Then another message, he said, all you had to do was loan me $100, but you let your family and friends brainwash you. He was talking about his bond, which is a whole nother story. We'll talk about that later. Number 14, very possessive, gains dominance over his victim. Doesn't want you close to anyone, discourages you from seeing anyone, and says terrible things about them to you. Okay. Instance number 1, where he was coming to me while I was living with the Moores, saying that they were talking about me, creating tension. When Mr. Moore and Mrs. Moore, when I first moved in your house, I was very talkative. I was telling y'all things about me and Darren's relationship. Then as time went on, everybody was avoiding each other. I don't know what he was telling y'all, but he damn sure was telling me some things y'all said about me in that house, and that made me keep my distance. Another one, the Christmas pregnancy incident with the blow up in the text message. Created tension with me and my mom. Okay. Another one. He was sending emails to my mom to put things in my mom's head. To have my mom think bad about me. Then he'd make sure that he never told me about it. Another one. Go talk to my parents behind my back. Another one. I had a best friend named Bree. She was my only friend. She was Jada's godmother, and she was amazing to me. And she would come to the hotel in Durham because her school's at, she goes to school at Central. So she would come back because, I work from 8 to 9. And she'd come by and check on Jada, make sure they needed, had everything. And Darren started putting in my head that she was coming on to him. Bree is my witness because I told Bree this. I said, girl, can you believe Darren sitting up here trying to say you coming on to him? Anybody that knows Bree knows she's not that type of girl. Then he tried to say because she made a butt comment about my butt that she was a lesbian. Q, I think Q likes you. I think Bree likes you more than a friend. No, it's just the way she talks about your butt. She likes you more than a friend. Then she was changing Roman's diaper one day. After she leaves, after he's laughing at the joke and we're laughing about it, she leaves, man, I don't want her ever touching Roman's diaper again. For her to call his penis big. I said, Darren, that was her first time seeing it. She was just changing his diaper. And I said, you joke about it all the time, too. Then I get online and I do this research. And there's several websites that says that that's what abusers would do. And literally the same examples I just gave you guys, it says they would do that with their victims' best friends. Say that their friends is coming on to them, saying their friends are lesbians and all this and that. The same exact, I swear to God, I could not make this shit up. Y'all do y'all research on this.